In the United States, there are 46.2 million people that are poverty-stricken, where 15% are children, 22% are less than 18, and 8.7% are older than 65. Knowing all these statistics allows the problem of poverty to be addressed in the country. Our government used the collected information on poverty to create solutions for many communities who are in dire need of help. Most of America's poverty is found in the South and Southwest region of the U.S. Families in poverty deal with many problems involving education, health problems, lack of food, and crime rates based on where they live.
The lack of jobs, the crime rate is out there, the Richter scale. Friends, where your dad at, man? I don't know where my dad is. My dad in prison, or my dad on drugs, or I don't mess with my dad. My dad don't fool with me, you know.
An important step toward ending youth homelessness is getting better data and getting a better understanding about why young people become homeless, what happens to them when they're homeless, and what services they need.
The two-parent family is vanishing among the poor.
And the reason why we're standing is because we got our children. And you don't want to lose your children.
In some areas, nearly 3/4 of the children are raised out of wedlock. For the men who relied on their hands rather than their education for a job, work dried up.
Over the last year, I would say that I probably only earned like $5,000 to $6,000.
One of the reasons that a lot of people in Holmes County are still unbanked or underbanked is the lack of jobs.
Title loans to keep our lights from getting cut off, to get our water from being cut off. Right now, this is all we have.
Even sometimes when you look at your kids and, you just want better.
I would only work for rent. I wouldn't work for a life.
Additionally, people living in poverty have high death rates and are exposed to more chronic diseases. Poor adults are twice as likely to have diabetes as affluent adults. Poor children are twice as likely to have unhealthy levels of lead in their blood than other children. Families in poverty also eat a lot of junk food, making them more vulnerable to disease such as diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. High rates of poverty in communities also result in a high increase of drug use. Studies indicate that poverty rates and crimes in these rural areas are proportional.
In Tallulah, some young men try to enlist in the army. The men who stay see few opportunities.
Secretary Carson and I asked about the waiting list here, and it's 409 because we still have 409 homeless veterans here in Washington, D.C. Across the country, that number is 40,000.
In different blocks on separate sides of Ocean Parkway in Brooklyn, New York, the poverty rate is 6 times that of the other. Poverty declined in the majority of states in 2017. Income growth, welfare programs, and more jobs have led to the decline.
However, the government helps many people who are in poverty. From women to the elderly, the government has expanded unemployment benefits, supplied food stamps programs, and has helped families who are in financial crisis with the Earned Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit. Some believe that there are benefits from anti-poverty programs such as food stamps, federal housing subsidies, school lunches, and Medicaid. Some also believe that there are tax advantages such as the earned income and child tax credits. However, many families reported as living in poverty are not poor in the ordinary sense or as understood by most Americans. Therefore, current government methodology of measuring poverty, which calculates income inequality and not actual material deprivation, could be overstating the extent of poverty in the United States. The rate declined steadily, reaching a low of 11.1% in 1973 and rising to a high of nearly 15% 3 times in 1983, 1993, and 2011. However, the 46.2 million Americans in poverty in 2011 is the most ever recorded. Okay, what changes do you wish could have been made in regards to economics for things to have turned out better?
Fair opportunities and everything like that. It shouldn't. There's people that knows more than people that's in certain situations because they don't have a diploma or this and that third, which they understand that some people's not going to be able to get that because of certain things they go through in life, and then that's their way of keeping certain people down, which might know more than somebody that owns certain businesses. They have answers for everything else. They can build this, build that, and all this technology, this, but they can't resolve a simple situation. It's crazy, which is give everybody a job.
What factors do you think contribute to the increase in poverty rates in the United States?
Fewer opportunities available for poorer people. Government policy has been structured to benefit wealthier people over poorer people in the last few decades. Like as an example, you can restructure the tax laws and also benefits that people receive to help out people who are poorer. So, like as an example, let's just look at tertiary education. That means going to college. Many decades ago, it used to be although fewer people went to college, it used to be easier for people to go to college and easier for poor people to go to college. So like as an example, Queen's College was free, whereas now most of the better colleges in the United States cost $65,000-$70,000 a year. That's crazy. In my opinion, it's not a privilege in the United States. You have to go to college in order to do better in the rest of your life.
Overall, people living in poverty do not have the same opportunities as others in the United States. They don't have access to the same resources, they are exposed to different lifestyles, and they do not get the same education. Those in poverty are often not aware of their full potential and don't have the right environment or support system to achieve their goals. On top of this, many children who grew up in poverty often get preoccupied with work and don't have time to focus on school. Poor neighborhoods should be better maintained so that those living in it have a better chance of getting out and will be more motivated to achieve the wealth and variety of careers that are out there for them. If the minimum wage was raised and low-paying jobs were a bit more flexible with income, many in poverty would be able to live a better life with hard work despite temporarily difficult circumstances.